Okay, so now for local government fun facts. I keep promising that we'll have a fun fact, and I'm still not able to deliver that tonight. But we have important local government facts, and so I'm going to hand it over to our Public Works Director, Mr. Michael Wolfe.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, Council members. Michael Wolfe, Director of Public Works. By design, nothing in Public Works is fun, so this will be interesting, interesting facts. If we can go to the next slide. Oh, I haven't. Thank you. I will do it myself. So just a couple caveats here. Prior iterations of this have been about comparisons of other agencies. And so I felt like interesting information would be do some comparisons with other agencies related to our utilities. I always caveat this by saying that a comparison across different cities is always tough in terms of the services that are provided, because it's not always the same. There are lots of things that go into in terms of complexity and services, why things cost differently in other agencies. I also want to caveat by this saying that this information for the other agencies was taken from their websites. So if the information on their website's not accurate, then this information is as accurate as that information. So this setup here is that you can see our three traditional utilities on the left, the horizontal or vertical axis, sorry, that's water, sewer, and trash. And then on the horizontal axis, you can see the cities, Oxnard being on the immediate left. And then you have Ventura, Camarillo, Thousand Oaks, Simi Valley, Port Hueneme, Simi Valley. And then we also included the community beach district, which actually has some City of Oxnard residents that are inside that district. Again, this is the raw data. Some of the information that's actually shown on here is that this is based on an average of 900 cubic feet of water usage, which is, if you remember from our water rate study in Oxnard, about 80% of our customers are single-family residential, and their average water usage per month is about 9 HCF. The trend, as you start to see going across the board here, in the parentheses, I wanted to point out that we've included the date of when the last rate study was done in that agency. And you can see the trend for water, which is probably very apparent with the volatility of water, is that most folks have done an analysis this year or just recently last year. And I also wanted to point out, and I'll go into this a little more in the next slide, but well, that didn't work very well. Diego, if you can reset that back to PowerPoint. Thank you, wrong button. So you can also see, and I'll cover this more on the next slide, the amount of water used per person. And I think that's important as we start to look at this as a comparison, as an analysis rather than the raw data. And then the trend is very similar in sewer in terms of the last time somebody's done an actual study with Oxnard and Port Hueneme being the ones that haven't done it recently. Most other agencies have done it last year or this year. And then even a more interesting trend is that most agencies have done a sewer rate review, or sorry, trash rate review in the last couple of years. Oxnard has not done one in almost 10 years, and then Port Hueneme about 9 years. A lot of that's interesting because, as you know, a lot of state regulations have come out since the last time we've done a rate study for organics and different types of requirements that obviously change the way we do business. If we go to the next slide here.
Go ahead. Yes, question.
Councilor Perrelli.
Can you please explain and correct me, Port Hueneme piggybacks on Oxnard's trash. So when Port Hueneme would have a rate study, say 1 year newer than us, they bring their trash to the City of Oxnard and Oxnard handles their trash. Is that correct?
Well, there's two components there. Whether or not they piggyback off our rate study, I'm not sure that I'm aware of that. Whether or not they actually bring their solid waste to our MRF, that may be the case, as we are a regional facility that other agencies may bring, or other agencies and other companies may bring their solid waste to our Del Norte site. So I don't have an answer to the first part of your question of whether or not they actually piggyback off of our rate study, which I don't think is the case, but they may bring solid waste to our facility.
And I think they do to our transfer station.
Right, to our transfer station, but whether or not they're actually tied to our rate study, I don't think that's the case.
Okay. Thank you.
No. Councilman Tron.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Wolfe, I don't know if you're going to cover this later or if it's more nuanced than what we have tonight, but I'd be interested in knowing if we know how often some of the cities do their rate studies. When was the last time we did our water rate study before this last one? Do you know?
Now you're testing my memory. I think it's 2017 or 2018, if I remember that correctly.
That's
that
right.
was
Okay.
the last time we did our water rates.
So we had a lapse of about 5 years between rate studies. Are there some cities that do it more often?
So I know that the city of Camarillo does a water rate analysis every year. If you look at their website, they actually do it every year. Most agencies are at that 5 to 7 year range. As we talked about when we were doing water rates a couple months back, a pretty standard process is a 5 to 7 year review. And some agencies actually, as we did, approve a multi-year rate analysis.
And
Yes.
can I share something with you? I know the Harrison rubbish collects most of these other cities, except for Wadimi and us, And they do a rate study every other year, or well, almost a yearly basis.
So franchisees typically have built into their agreements with cities some level of analysis annually for
Right.
different costs.
Great, thank you.
So again, my caveat at the beginning was I really am not a big fan of making comparisons at raw data levels. So we did a little analysis, and we thought that this would sort of standardize or kind of normalize from a statistical standpoint of what those dollars look like. And the importance here is that to look at the persons per household. So that's right in here. So you can see from the U.S. Census Bureau, you can see the number of folks reported per household across these agencies, Oxnard having the highest at 4, and I think it's Camarillo or Ventura at 2.58. So that's the average number of people per single-family residential. So when you actually take that and look at that, and then apply the costs, you can see here at the bottom that when you just do it by kind of the power of the dollar, that the total average cost in Oxnard is shy of $38, and you can see it, those across the board are significantly higher when you do that standardization for an individual. So I thought that was not a fun fact, but an interesting fact, and I will take more questions.
Oh, we have Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was actually going to mention this later, but I'll say it now since we're talking about water rates. Over the weekend, I've got several inquiries about water bills. Some people saying they received double bills within a 2-week period. Some people saying that their rates doubled. I just want to remind folks that we did have a rate increase that went into effect very recently, so that's one part of it. And that on the other half, we are going around through the entire city and replacing water meters. And during that replacement cycle, sometimes we weren't gathering the information we needed to assess the bill. And I have to thank Eden Alamary, who's sitting in the audience here, who explained all this to me earlier today, because otherwise I wouldn't have had a clue. Eden, wave your hand so we can all say thank you. Good job. So what happened was, after we figured out what was going on, we went back and read a lot of the meters, and we sent out a second bill. And people were confused by getting 2 bills in 2 weeks. And they were naturally adding them together thinking this is horrendous. Well, the way it works is you look at the bills, and one of them will say a corrected bill, which means that we've updated it from the first bill we sent you. So you disregard the first bill and pay the corrected bill for your water service. But like I said, I didn't catch that right away. It took me a while to get that sorted out. So if you got 2 water bills in an unusual cycle, take a look at them. The corrected bill is the one you want to pay. The other one can go in your file drawer, whatever you want to do with it. So, but I think a lot of people were surprised by that. So thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. And I think something important here is that our average cost per person is $37 compared to almost double for other cities, for example, the city of Ventura, that's significant. And I think it's important that people understand that, or even other cities in like Camarillo and Wanimi and so forth. So good presentation. Thank you. So we have a speaker on this item, and Pat Brown. Pat Brown. Mm-hmm.
I go to the Aviation Museum at Camarillo Airport 3 days a week, and I've been doing this since we began in 1981. And I can tell you that our water here tastes much, much better than Camarillo's, and I have facts. We buy big, huge containers, plastic wrapped up containers of bottles of water, and there's fountains all over the place there. Nobody touches the fountains. They don't even go near them. That's for the public that come to see us, and then they have this awful look on their face after they've had a sip. I can tell you that our water here is the best. It's better than the San Fernando Valley, where I lived for 30 years before I moved up here, got wise. And Ventura's water is very, I don't know, it's kind of flat. Is what I would call it. It's just, it's not nearly as good as ours. Our water, it tastes so much better than any of the other cities around here, around the general Los Angeles, Ventura County area. This water is much, much better than any of them. We could charge more for it and still use up the same amount, I'm telling you. Everybody who drinks it wants more, okay? They always want more from Oxnard. So don't make any changes there in the wrong direction, please.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you. And thank you, Michael, for the good water. Thank you.
And a 5-star review from Miss Brown as well.
Okay, and any other speakers on this item?
Mayor Zaragoza, there's no additional speakers virtually or in person for this item.
Okay, well, thank you. Our next